Ever wanted to mod your own controller? Looking for an easy way to do it? Well, the controller people have figured it out. Hey tubers, it's Ben the Curious Consumer, and today we are going to be taking a look at a do-it-yourself PlayStation 4 controller modification kit, provided by the controller people. The controller people have figured out a way to make a do-it-yourself kit so easy, so simple that almost anybody can do it. The modification kit is to be installed without the need of soldering or gluing or any wiring skills whatsoever. They have really revolutionized the way that you modify a controller. So let's dive right into it.
All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of it. What we're going to be doing is installing a click stick mod on this controller. So what we have to do is take apart the controller. First up, you take out the 4 screws, which I've already done. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we have 4 screws there on the back that we have to take off. I've also removed the sticker here from the back because we are going to be drilling little holes here and here. You can see I have my cross sections there in the light. You can see one there and one over here. We're going to be drilling little holes on the back portion. No soldering, no gluing, just a little bit of electrical tape and then screwing the holes in, and you should have this all set up. So what we're going to need for this obviously is a screwdriver. We are going to need some electrical tape. We're going to need the mod kit, which I've already taped together, so you can see here this is actually really cool. This mod kit has a ribbon cable that runs through and gives you micro switches on the bottom, so you can see the micro switches here and here, and then you can see the little cutouts here. That's where the click sticks go. So this all comes together with one piece, and this one piece is really cool because you're not wasting any of this. So this piece here comes off of here, these little click sticks here come out of that side, and then you just piece it together. Now I've already taped the ribbon cable on with electrical tape. I did that on purpose because it's a little bit tougher when this isn't attached to put it into place. So I taped it on just to hold it in place so that way it's a little bit easier. And essentially what this modification is going to do, inside the controller there are little connection beds that look very similar to this. There's green ribbon cable inside the controller, and that green ribbon cable tells the controller, because it's not on the board's underneath, so the ribbon cable comes around from the front to the back onto the board, and that's where the connection's made. These little ribbon cables here are going to sandwich between the board and that other ribbon cable, so that's where this is going to sit. That's going to make the connection to make it so the buttons that are on the face of the controller can be remapped to the click sticks here on the bottom. So let's get started. First things first, we got to take apart the controller. Again, I have already taken the 4 screws out of the back, so we're going to then pull the controller apart. But be careful because there is a ribbon cable right here. So that ribbon cable you want to make sure you don't just rip out, you actually just pull it out. So you're just going to grab both sides of that ribbon cable tightly and just pull directly straight up, and it comes right out of that port right there. Now sometimes on some controllers your springs may come out like this one did here. That's easily replaceable. You can just pop it right back in, and of course sometimes your triggers will come out. So just know that ahead of time. You didn't break anything. It's gonna go right back in. You just got to be a little bit patient, so don't worry about it. We're going to set the backing aside because there are a couple of things we want to do here. Number one, we're going to want to cut a little bit of this, a little bit of the plastic pieces that are sticking out here. We're just going to cut these 2 plastic pieces down, one here and one here, just so it makes a better fit when we put the click sticks in. Alright, so now is the battery removal. We're going to take the battery out, so you're just going to pick it up like this, and be very careful when you pull this connector out. You don't want to rip the cables out of it. So you just pinch both sides of the connector, like so, wiggle it a little bit, and it should come right out, just like that. So there's your battery. Let's put that aside. Now comes the battery cradle unit. We're just going to pull that up. If it doesn't come right out, you can actually use your screwdriver and just pop it up from the side here. Now mine is loose, so I can just take that right out. We're going to move that, and you'll see that one remaining screw. So we're going to take that bad boy right out of there. Now you'll notice on the very top of the controller here, there is a ribbon cable. That ribbon cable is super duper important. This ribbon cable right here is what makes the touchpad on the front work. So we're going to pull that ribbon cable out, and all you're going to do again is pinch on both sides. One on the top, you see there's a little flap here. So we're just going to grab that and pull it straight up. Then you got to snake it through the plastic. On this controller I have to snake it through the plastic. On some other controllers there's not that large plastic piece on the front. We're going to snake it down inside, and you're just going to kind of pull back with your fingers on the other side and just slide it straight back. If you want to give it a little nudge from the front here on the front two pads, it'll pull right back, and there is the front of the controller. We're going to push that off to the side. Now what we have left is the internals, and you can see there's a plastic cover here that goes all the way across. Here's where the button connectors are, and you'll see how that ribbon cable snakes through the back. Now that ribbon cable connects to this motherboard. You'll see how the ribbon cable comes around the back side here. It actually makes a connection to the motherboard, and that's where we're going to sandwich the modification kit to, is in between the motherboard and that ribbon cable. So all we're going to do is separate the plastic front from the board on the back, and the easiest way to do that is just kind of pushing along the side here. You can again use a screwdriver, and just be careful and just pull up just a little bit. Some may be tighter than others as far as the motherboard to the front connection is concerned. And what you want to do, just give a little bit of force there and separate the two. Now keep in mind there are standoffs here on the back as well, standoffs right here on the back, that are holding the board in place. So you want to just give a little bit of a push up there as well. So I'm using my screwdriver, just pushing it up off of there and putting that aside. And now the front should come right up like this. So now I have access to the front of the board. So again, we're going to sandwich the connector kit right over the top, and we're going to put those in place here. What I'm going to use for that is electrical tape. I'm just going to put some electrical tape right here to hold that in place. And what you're going to do is line up the holes that you see here, line up those holes right to the holes that are on the board, and then that way it'll sit in place, and you can screw this all back together and it should sit perfectly fine. So there we go, 90% installed. You can see that the holes line up on both sides, the bottom and the top, and then you have on the back side here the top and the bottom holes all line up. And now I'm just going to connect the two sides, making sure that the standoffs here go through the holes they're supposed to go through. So now that's together, and I can just flip this back down like so. So that's almost done. We can put the front on to the controller and screw the motherboard to the front, and make sure that this ribbon cable here snakes back through where it's supposed to. So on this controller, it's actually going to come through this hole right here. There it is, that's in place. Now we can take that original screw that we took off for the motherboard from the front and put that back into place. Now you can flip that battery cradle back down. Make sure that it sits within its holes. That part is ready to go. We can then reinstall our triggers and get ready for the back. Also, probably a really smart thing to do before you do the drilling is removing some of these plastic pieces. So you'll see right here, there's this standoff here that stands up. If you remove that, just by cutting it away. It makes it so much easier to drill through, and also it is going to make it a lot easier for you to place the battery inside of the controller. With the new click stick body, it sticks up a little bit, so you want to take a razor blade or so and just nice and easily just cut through. I'm just going to use my razor blade just to kind of go down and just bend back the plastic a little bit, and then that way I can fit my click sticks in. And if you just wiggle it back and forth, it'll come right out like that. All right, so we got our backing here. I have pre-marked my controller of where I'm going to drill. You want to go about 4.5 to 5 millimeters down from the top and 4.5 to 5 millimeters over from the side. That should make the click stick connections just a little bit tighter. If you make a mistake on the back there, not that big of a deal. Just simply cover that up with the controller people stickers that go on the back. Okay, so once we get the holes drilled into the back of the unit here, just make sure that your click sticks are down. Replace your battery, make sure that your click stick is down again, because this wire can get in the way and could cause the click stick to stay up. So you want the click stick to remain down, that way you can have a nice easy connection there. Now we have to replace the back by starting with the ribbon cable. Ribbon cable is just going to get plugged right into the box here, and you want to make sure that the blue side stays out, faces out of the controller. You're just going to line that bad boy right up, and you're just going to push it into place. It's that easy, nice and easy. Just push it right back into place, and now you want to put your backing on. I recommend, me personally, going from the bottom up. It's a little bit tougher that way to go top down with the click sticks in place, because the click sticks will constantly want to go up. So what I do is I go from the bottom, and then I try to line everything up, pulling the triggers down. As I do this, I'm just going to make sure that the triggers stay down and that my click sticks start coming through the holes, as you can see here. Now I made my click stick holes just a little bigger, just because I want it to be an easier fit. Make sure that all your clips that are in underneath here and around the controller click into place, just like that, and then pull it tight together. You can hear the click sticks are working, and now I'm going to replace the 4 screws that go on the back of the controller. And if you so choose, you can put a click stick controller mod sticker on the back, right on the back. And now the click stick buttons. So this click stick button will go right over the top of the stick itself on both sides. And there you have it. Installed click sticks. And that'll change the face of the buttons here to the back of your controller. And that's that.
All right, so here we are. We're going to test this out. We're going to go into the game. I'm just going to pick any random custom thing. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are playing with Call of Duty Advanced Warfighter. I know, it's everybody's favorite, right? All right, so as you can see here on the controller, same controller, I've got the click sticks installed on the back. These click sticks came mapped to the circle and X button. So if I press the circle button, that performs my melee attack, and if I press the X button, it does my jumps. So if I do my right side click stick, it does my melee attack, and I'm not touching anything on the front side either. And if I do this side, it does my jump. So if I'm just running around and I want to jump over the pool, I can do that. If I'm running and I see somebody coming around a corner, let's say I melee them right in the face. So I could either take my hands off or just play with the click stick. which is pretty awesome and pretty convenient. Never have to worry again about getting beat by taking your finger off the thumbsticks to touch the buttons on the face. So that's it, guys. Really, really cool. The click sticks by the controller people. Check them out. I'll leave a link in the description below. There will be a coupon code in there for you guys, so if you decide you guys want to do a DIY kit such as the click sticks, or you could even do different customized faces, different customized thumbsticks, or directional pads and things like that. So you can do a whole modded controller. The controller people will take care of that for you if you're not interested in the DIY kit like I just installed for you guys. And if you haven't done so already, guys, consider subscribing to the channel. Give us a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that bell. That way YouTube will notify you every time we post another video. Well, guys, thanks so much for joining us, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.